The Silent Sentinel. The massive form of the HSS Hyperion drifted silently through the void, its dark hull barely visible against the backdrop of endless stars. The ancient human warship had maintained its vigil for over 3 centuries, waiting for the moment its internal systems deemed safe for revival. Inside its cavernous halls, rows of stasis pods held the last organized military force of humanity, blissfully unaware of how their world had changed. Dr. Kira Novak's modified scout ship, the Stellar Whisper, approached the derelict vessel with careful precision. Her heart raced as she studied the massive warship through the viewscreen. After 15 years of searching for remnants of human civilization, this discovery could change everything. Preliminary scans complete, announced Clara, her Andorian science officer. The tall, blue-skinned alien's antennae twitched with excitement. The vessel's power core is still functional, operating at 12% capacity. Life support systems are intact, and I'm detecting thousands of active stasis signatures. Kira's hands trembled as she processed this information. Thousands of survivors, actual human military personnel. She took a deep breath to steady herself. As one of the few free humans in known space, descended from scattered refugee colonies, this discovery felt almost sacred. The Conclave will not be pleased, Clara observed, her voice carrying a note of concern. The quarantine protocols regarding human military assets are quite strict. The Conclave doesn't own our history, Kira replied firmly. Or our future. She opened a channel to the ship's security chief. Major Ven, prepare a boarding team. Full containment protocols, but non-lethal weapons only. These are our people. The Tarkanian security chief's gravelly voice responded with characteristic efficiency. Team assembled in Hangar 2, Doctor. But I must again advise against this course of action. If the Conclave discovers. Noted, Major. Kira cut him off, already heading for the hangar. She understood his concerns, but she couldn't let this opportunity slip away. The Conclave had spent centuries trying to erase humanity's military heritage, claiming it was for the greater good of galactic peace. This ship could change everything. The boarding team's shuttle carefully maneuvered into one of the Hyperion's massive landing bays. Kira led the way, her environmental suit's lights illuminating the dusty deck. The ship's emergency lighting still functioned, casting everything in a dim blue glow. She approached a nearby terminal, hoping the universal translator could handle ancient human military interfaces. To her surprise, the screen flickered to life at her touch. A feminine voice echoed through the vast chamber. Identity confirmed. Human biological signature detected. Welcome aboard the HSS Hyperion, Doctor. I am Aria, the ship's artificial intelligence. Kira's breath caught in her throat. A functioning military AI. The Conclave would have a collective aneurysm. Aria, I'm Dr. Kira Novak. We're here to help. Can you tell me the status of the crew? All 3,722 crew members remain in stable stasis. However, ship's power reserves are approaching critical levels. Automated revival protocols will initiate within 48 hours. Major Ven stepped forward, his massive Tarkanian frame tense. Doctor, we need to report this. The Conclave. We'll destroy everything before these people have a chance, Kira finished. We can't let that happen. She turned back to the terminal. Aria, I need to speak with whoever's in command. Can you begin revival procedures for the senior staff? Processing request. Warning. Defensive systems will activate if any harm comes to the crew during revival. Please maintain your current positions. The massive chamber hummed with power as hidden weapons emerged from the walls, tracking the boarding party. Major Ven's security team raised their weapons instinctively, but Kira waved them down. Stand down. Aria, we mean no harm. These people are allies. Acknowledged. Beginning revival sequence for command staff. Estimated time to completion, 30 minutes. As they waited, Kira explored the nearby corridors with Clara, documenting everything. The Hyperion was a technological marvel, far more advanced than most contemporary warships despite its age. She began to understand why the Conclave feared human military potential so much. "Doctor," Clara called out, examining a historical database. According to these records, the Hyperion was part of something called the Exodus Fleet. They launched when Earth detected an approaching extinction-level threat. What kind of threat? Unknown. The data is corrupted. But it seems they planned to return once the danger had passed. Clara's antennae drooped slightly. They don't know Earth is gone. Kira felt a familiar ache in her chest. The destruction of Earth was ancient history to most species, but for humans, the loss still felt raw. How would these people react when they learned their home no longer existed? The revival chamber's door slid open with a hydraulic hiss. A tall woman in a naval uniform stepped out, her movements still unsteady from stasis. Her name tag read, Captain Sarah Chen. Behind her, other officers were beginning to emerge, all looking varying degrees of disoriented. "Status report," Chen demanded, her voice hoarse but commanding. Kira stepped forward, fighting back tears. "Captain, I'm Dr. Kira Novak. There's no easy way to say this, but you and your crew have been in stasis for over 300 years. The galaxy, everything has changed." Chen steadied herself against a wall, her face pale but composed. "Earth? The colonies? Earth was destroyed 2 centuries ago. Some colonial populations survived, scattered across the galaxy. We're what's left of free humanity." Kira gestured to her alien companions. "We've made some friends, but we're also facing serious challenges. The Galactic Conclave has strict laws regarding human military assets. They're afraid of us," Chen observed, studying the alien members of Kira's team with sharp eyes. "With good reason," Clara interjected. "Human military technology from your era still surpasses many contemporary systems. The Hyperion alone could alter the balance of power in this sector." Chen straightened her uniform, a determined look crossing her features. "Then we'll need to move quickly. Arya, begin revival procedures for all combat essential personnel. Dr. Novak, I need everything you can tell me about the current political situation." "Captain," Major Ven rumbled, "the Conclave will detect a mass revival. Their response will be swift and likely hostile." "Let them come," Chen replied firmly. "Humanity has been hiding long enough. It's time to remind the galaxy why they feared us in the first place." She turned to Kira. "Doctor, I assume you have a ship nearby?" "Yes, but..." "Good. Get back to it and prepare to receive coordinates. The Hyperion may be old, but she's still got some tricks up her sleeve. If the Conclave wants a fight, we'll give them one they'll never forget." As if in response to its captain's words, the massive warship systems began humming to life. Throughout its vast halls, stasis pods opened one by one, awakening warriors from a forgotten age. The galaxy had changed during their long sleep, but humanity's spirit remained unbroken. The silent sentinel had awakened, and nothing would ever be the same. Legacy of Earth. The command center of the HSS Hyperion thrummed with activity as more crew members awakened from stasis. Captain Chen stood before a holographic display, her expression grim as Dr. Novak detailed 3 centuries of human history. Behind them, human officers worked alongside Kira's alien crew, rapidly updating the warship's databases with current stellar cartography and political information. "The Conclave formed about 50 years after your departure," Kira explained, manipulating the hologram to show the political boundaries of known space. "They claim to promote peace and stability, but their methods are questionable. Especially regarding humans." "Tell me about the colonies," Chen requested, her voice steady despite the weight of all she'd learned. "You mentioned some survived." "Scattered and hidden. Most exist on the fringes of Conclave space. We maintain our own culture in secret, helping each other when we can. The largest settlement is Haven, about 30 light-years from here. That's where I'm from. Lieutenant Commander Marcus Rivera, Chen's tactical officer, approached with a data pad. Captain, preliminary systems check complete. Weapons at 89% capacity, shields at 92%. The old girls held up better than we could have hoped. Good. We'll need every advantage. Chen turned back to the strategic display. How long until the Conclave responds to our activation? As if answering her question, Arya's voice echoed through the command center. Multiple vessels detected entering the system. Configuration matches Conclave enforcement fleet. Estimated time to weapons range, 15 minutes. Kira's heart raced. That's a faster response than I expected. They must have been watching this sector. Of course they were, Clara observed from her station at the science console. The Conclave never truly believed all human military assets were accounted for. They've been searching for ships like the Hyperion for centuries. Chen's eyes narrowed as she studied the tactical display. Numbers. 7 capital ships, multiple support vessels, Rivera reported. Their technology is interesting. Less advanced in some ways, more sophisticated in others. Their weapons are primarily energy-based, but their shield configurations are unlike anything in our database. Captain, Major Venn rumbled from his position near the door, my security team should return to the Stellar Whisper. We can provide supporting fire. No. Chen's voice was firm. Your ship is officially registered with the Conclave. If you engage, they'll brand you as terrorists. Take your team and get clear of the system. We can handle this. Kira stepped forward. We're not abandoning you. You're not. You're preserving the secret of Haven and the other colonies. We can't risk the Conclave learning their locations. Chen's expression softened slightly. Besides, we need someone to spread the word. Humanity isn't hiding anymore. Before Kira could argue further, Arya announced, incoming transmission from lead Conclave vessel. Put it through, Chen ordered, straightening her uniform. The holographic display shifted, revealing a stern-faced Altarian. Its crystalline features seemed to shimmer with barely contained anger. Unidentified vessel, this is Enforcer Prime Kelvin of the Galactic Conclave. Power down your systems immediately and prepare for boarding. This is your only warning. Chen stepped forward, her bearing every inch the naval officer. Enforcer Prime, I am Captain Sarah Chen of the Human Space Service vessel Hyperion. We acknowledge your presence but reject your authority over this vessel or its crew. The Hyperion is sovereign human territory. Any attempt to board will be considered an act of war. The Altarian's crystalline features fractured in what might have been surprise. Impossible. The human military was disbanded centuries ago. You are either imposters or reconstructed AIs. Either way, you will submit to Conclave authority. I assure you, we're quite real. Chen's voice carried an edge of steel. My crew and I were preserved in stasis, awaiting a time when the threat to Earth had passed. We've now learned that while we slept, our homeworld was destroyed and our people scattered. We demand to know why. The destruction of Earth was regrettable but necessary, Kelvin replied coldly. Human military aggression could not be allowed to spread throughout the galaxy. The survivors were granted mercy, allowed to live under Conclave protection. You mean surveillance and control, Kira interjected, unable to contain herself. The Enforcer's face hardened. Dr. Novak. Your presence here violates multiple Conclave directives. The punishment for aiding restricted military assets is quite severe. Enough, Chen cut in. You have 5 minutes to clear this system, Enforcer Prime. After that, we will consider any Conclave vessel within weapons range to be hostile. You are outnumbered and outdated, Kelvin sneered. Whatever technological advantages your vessel once possessed are centuries behind current capabilities. Submit now, and your crew may be spared. Chen smiled, but there was no warmth in it. I wondered when you'd play that card. Arya, tactical analysis. The AI's voice was almost smug. Conclave vessel design emphasizes shield strength over point defense. Their weapon systems, while powerful, require significant energy buildup before firing. Most notably, their ships lack proper protection against quantum-shifted projectiles. Just as I thought. Chen's smile widened. They've forgotten what they were afraid of. Enforcer Prime, I suggest you check your historical records regarding human combat doctrine. We specialized in exploiting exactly the kind of weaknesses your ships are displaying. For the first time, uncertainty flickered across Kelvin's crystalline features. This is your final warning. Power down or be destroyed. No, Chen replied simply. This is yours. Arya, battle stations. Show them why humanity earned its reputation. As klaxons blared throughout the massive warship, Kira and her team rushed to return to the Stellar Whisper. The last thing she saw before their shuttle launched was the Hyperion's weapon ports opening, revealing arrays of technology that had passed into legend. The battle that followed would be talked about for generations. The Conclave fleet, confident in their superior numbers and modern technology, never stood a chance. The Hyperion's quantum torpedoes bypassed their shields completely, while its point defense systems swatted their energy weapons from space before they could build up sufficient power. Within minutes, 3 Conclave capital ships were crippled, their engines dark and weapons offline. The others attempted to regroup, but the Hyperion moved with impossible speed for a vessel its size, its maneuvering systems making a mockery of conventional physics. As the Stellar Whisper cleared the system, Kira watched the sensor readings with a mixture of awe and hope. The awakening of the Hyperion wasn't just a revival of ancient military might, it was a symbol. After centuries of hiding and compromise, humanity was ready to reclaim its place among the stars. And this was only the beginning. Battle lines. The news of the Hyperion's victory spread through Conclave space like wildfire. Within days, every major species was buzzing with reports of the legendary human warship that had humbled an entire enforcement fleet. In the Conclave central chambers on New Arcturus, emergency sessions stretched for hours as representatives debated how to respond to this unprecedented crisis. Captain Chen stood on the Hyperion's observation deck, watching her crew work alongside engineering teams from Haven. The massive warship had taken minimal damage in the battle, but Chen knew they couldn't afford to be complacent. The Conclave wouldn't underestimate them twice. Status report, she called out as Commander Rivera entered the observation deck. Better than expected, Captain. Haven's engineers are impressed, they say our technology is decades ahead of anything they've seen. They're already talking about reproducing some of our systems. Good. We'll need every advantage. Chen turned to face her tactical officer. What's the word from our new friends? Rivera's expression brightened. The Andorian Collective has officially extended asylum. They're willing to risk Conclave sanctions to protect us. The Tarkanian Empire is considering following suit. And the others? Still neutral, but watching closely. The Conclave's response to our emergence has caused concerns among some member species. Particularly their immediate resort to military action. Before Chen could respond, Arya's voice filled the chamber. Captain, priority transmission from Haven. Dr. Novak requests immediate conference. Put her through. Kira's holographic form materialized, her expression urgent. Captain, we've got a problem. Our deep space sensors just detected a massive fleet assembling at Conclave Station 7. Early analysis suggests they're bringing in ships from at least 6 different member species. Chen's jaw tightened. They're not taking any chances this time. Numbers? At least 30 capital ships, plus support vessels. But that's not the worst part. Kira's image flickered as she accessed additional data. We're picking up quantum signature readings. They've recovered some of our old technology from Earth's ruins. They're adapting it for their own ships. Damn. Chen began pacing. They're neutralizing our technological advantage. Time frame. The fleet will be fully assembled within 72 hours. But Captain, there's something else. We've been contacted by other human settlements. When word spread about the Hyperion, they started coming out of hiding. There are more of us than we thought, scattered across dozens of systems. The Conclave kept us divided, Rivera observed. Easier to control that way. Not anymore. Chen's voice carried steel. How many settlements have revealed themselves? 17 so far, with more coming forward every hour. They're all offering support, resources, personnel, safe harbors. And... Kira hesitated. We've confirmed at least 3 other military vessels in stasis, similar to the Hyperion. They're just waiting to be found. Chen felt a smile tugging at her lips. The Exodus fleet. We weren't the only ones who escaped Earth's destruction. Arya, begin compiling data on all known human settlements and potential military assets. Commander Rivera, contact our allies among the Andorians and Tarkanians. We need to establish a coordinated defense network. Captain, Arya interrupted, incoming transmission from the Conclave Assembly. Priority 1. They're probably going to demand our surrender again, Rivera muttered. No. Chen shook her head. They're smarter than that now. Put it through, Arya. The holographic display shifted, revealing not a military officer, but a panel of Conclave representatives. Their spokesperson, a tall Altarian, stepped forward. Captain Chen. I am High Commissioner Vax of the Galactic Conclave. We wish to discuss terms. Terms? Chen's eyebrow raised. The last Conclave representative I spoke to was somewhat less diplomatic. Enforcer Prime Kelvin's approach was, regrettable. We recognize that military action against your vessel was an error. The Conclave wishes to open a dialogue. While assembling an invasion fleet. Chen's voice dripped sarcasm. Forgive me if I doubt your sincerity, Commissioner. Vax's crystalline features remained impassive. The fleet is a precaution, nothing more. Surely you understand our concern. The sudden emergence of advanced human military technology represents a significant shift in the balance of power. A balance built on the suppression of my people, Chen countered. We know the truth now, Commissioner. How the Conclave used Earth's destruction as an excuse to scatter and control humanity's survivors. How you've spent centuries keeping us divided and weak. Those policies were implemented for the greater good, another representative interjected. Human military aggression was a convenient excuse, Chen cut in. But those days are over. Humanity is reuniting, Commissioner. We're reclaiming our heritage and our strength. The only question is whether the Conclave will accept this peacefully or force a confrontation. Are you suggesting war, Captain? I'm suggesting change. The Conclave can adapt to a galaxy where humanity stands as equals, or it can try to maintain its control through force. Choose carefully. The Hyperion's victory wasn't luck or superior technology, it was a reminder of why humanity was feared in the first place. We're survivors. We're innovators. And we don't submit to tyranny. The commissioners exchanged glances. Finally, Vax spoke again. We will need time to consider our position. You have 48 hours, Chen replied firmly. After that, any hostile action against human settlements or our allies will be considered an act of war. End transmission. As the holographic display faded, Rivera whistled softly. You think they'll back down? No. Chen turned back to the observation window, watching as ships from Haven continued to gather around the Hyperion. But every hour they spend debating is another hour for us to prepare. Contact all known human settlements. Tell them to begin evacuating non-essential personnel to secure locations. And get me a direct line to the Andorian fleet commander. What are you planning, Captain? Chen's expression hardened. The Conclave spent centuries keeping humanity afraid and divided. Now they're about to learn why that was necessary for their control. It's time to show them what happens when humanity stands united. As if in response to her words, more ships appeared in the distance, vessels of various designs and origins, all converging on the Hyperion's position. The battle lines were being drawn, and this time, humanity wouldn't stand alone. Echoes of humanity. The command center of Haven's primary defense station buzzed with activity as reports flooded in from across known space. Dr. Kira Novak stood beside Captain Chen, watching as the holographic display updated with new information every few minutes. Green dots representing human settlements continued to appear, while blue indicators showed the growing coalition of alien allies rallying to their cause. Another stasis ship found, Kira announced, highlighting a sector near the Galactic Core. The HSS Artemis. Heavy research vessel, crew of 1,500. Their AI is already communicating with Aria. That makes 4, Chen noted, her eyes scanning the tactical overlay. The Hyperion, Atlantis, Perseus, and now Artemis. All part of the original Exodus fleet, all carrying different pieces of humanity's legacy. Commander Rivera approached with a data pad, his expression troubled. Captain, we've decoded more of the Conclave's encrypted transmissions. It's worse than we thought. They didn't just take advantage of Earth's destruction, they orchestrated it. A heavy silence fell over the command center. Chen's knuckles whitened as she gripped the tactical display. Explain. According to these records, several founding members of the Conclave discovered humanity's potential for rapid technological advancement. They saw how quickly we went from primitive spaceflight to quantum drive technology. It scared them. Rivera's voice was tight with controlled anger. They manipulated events, ensuring Earth's defensive systems were compromised when the asteroid swarm approached. They wanted us broken, scattered, and controllable. And now their worst nightmare is coming true, Kira observed. We're uniting, growing stronger. The very thing they feared most. Before anyone could respond, alarms blared throughout the station. Multiple quantum signatures detected, the sensor officer announced. Conclave fleet vessels dropping out of FTL at coordinates 73 Mark IV. Show me, Chen ordered. The tactical display shifted, revealing dozens of Conclave warships appearing in precise formation. At their center was a vessel that dwarfed even the Hyperion, a massive dreadnought that seemed to shimmer with barely contained energy. The Eternal Judgment, Clara supplied from her science station. The Conclave's new flagship. They've integrated recovered human technology with their most advanced systems. They're not waiting for negotiations, Rivera observed grimly. No, Chen agreed. They've realized we'll only grow stronger with time. Aria, status of our forces. The AI's holographic avatar materialized. Combined fleet assets include the Hyperion, Atlantis, and Perseus, plus support vessels from Haven and our allies. The Artemis is still completing revival procedures. Andorian and Tarkanian battle groups are moving to support positions. We're still outnumbered, Kira noted. Numbers aren't everything. Chen's voice carried absolute conviction. Humanity survived because we learned to adapt, to think differently. Our allies joined us because they saw something in us worth fighting for. She turned to address the entire command center. The Conclave believes they can end this quickly, using our own technology against us. They're wrong. Because they forgot the most important thing about humanity, we're at our most dangerous when we're cornered. As if to punctuate her words, the massive dreadnought began moving forward, its weapon systems charging. A transmission cut through all channels, broadcasting on every frequency. This is High Enforcer Kelvin of the Eternal Judgment to all rebel forces. Your resistance ends now. Surrender and submit to Conclave authority, or be destroyed. You have 5 minutes to comply. Chen smiled, but there was no warmth in it. Arya, open a channel to all Allied vessels. Channel open, Captain. This is Captain Chen. You've all seen the evidence of the Conclave's treachery. They murdered our world, scattered our people, and spent centuries keeping us weak. Now they think they can use our own technology to finish what they started. She paused, letting her words sink in. But they don't understand what they're dealing with. Human technology isn't just about weapons or shields, it's about innovation, adaptation, and the will to survive against impossible odds. She nodded to Clara, who activated a series of commands on her console. Throughout the Allied fleet, new data streams began flowing between ships. What they see is our strength, Chen continued. What they don't see is our ability to work together, to combine different technologies and strategies in ways they never imagined. They think they know what we're capable of. Let's show them how wrong they are. The Eternal Judgment's massive weapon arrays began to glow, preparing to fire. But Chen wasn't finished. All ships, implement Protocol Omega. Show them what happens when humanity and its allies stand as one. Across the Allied fleet, systems that should have been incompatible suddenly synchronized. Andorian shield harmonics merged with Tarkanian weapon frequencies, all coordinated through human quantum computers. The result was something entirely new, a perfect fusion of multiple species technologies, working in ways the Conclave never thought possible. As the massive dreadnought opened fire, the battle for humanity's future began. And in that moment, every being in the system understood one crucial truth: the Conclave hadn't just failed to destroy humanity, they had created exactly what they feared most. A united humanity, stronger than ever, ready to reshape the galaxy. New Dawn. The battle that would later be known as the liberation of Haven unfolded across space like a deadly dance. The Eternal Judgment's first salvo, powered by stolen human technology, lanced out toward the Allied fleet, only to scatter harmlessly against shields that shouldn't have been possible, a perfect synthesis of 3 different species' defensive systems. Captain Chen stood at the Hyperion's helm, directing the battle with the precision of a conductor leading an orchestra. All ships, execute Pattern Delta. Perseus, take your battle group and target their support vessels. Atlantis, prepare to engage their flanking forces. The human warships moved with devastating coordination, their maneuvers complemented perfectly by their alien allies. Andorian cruisers provided covering fire while Tarkanian assault vessels struck from unexpected vectors, all choreographed through the combined processing power of the human AIs. High Enforcer Kelvin's voice crackled through the command channel, tight with barely controlled rage. Impossible. Our intelligence indicated your systems were incompatible. That's your problem, Enforcer, Chen replied calmly as another synchronized attack run crippled 2 Conclave heavy cruisers. You keep thinking in terms of limitations. Humanity thinks in terms of possibilities. The battle raged for hours, but the outcome was never really in doubt. The Conclave fleet, for all its size and stolen technology, couldn't adapt to the constantly shifting tactics of the Allied forces. Every time they thought they had countered one strategy, 3 more would appear. Finally, as the Eternal Judgment's primary systems began to fail under the relentless assault, Kelvin's voice returned to the command channel. Stop. We surrender. Chen's expression remained stern. Arya, verify. Confirmed, Captain. The Eternal Judgment is powering down weapons and shields. Remaining Conclave vessels are following suit. All ships, hold position but maintain target locks. Chen opened a channel to Haven's command center. Dr. Novak, are you receiving this? Loud and clear, Captain, Kira replied. The Conclave's ruling council is asking for terms. They're dissolving the enforcement fleet. repealing all restrictions on human settlements. A cheer went up throughout the bridge, but Chen raised her hand for silence. It's not over yet. Have they agreed to our other demands? Yes, Kira's voice carried a note of triumph. Full disclosure of all records regarding Earth's destruction. Recognition of human sovereignty. And, they're returning all recovered human artifacts and technology. We're getting our history back, Captain. Chen finally allowed herself a small smile. Good. Commander Rivera, prepare boarding teams for the Eternal Judgment. I want every piece of stolen technology catalogued and secured. She turned to Clara. What's the status of our allies? The Andorian's antennae twitched with satisfaction. The Andorian Collective is already proposing a permanent alliance. The Tarkanians are interested as well. Several other species are reaching out, seeking diplomatic relations with the restored human territories. And the other stasis ships? The Artemis has completed revival procedures, Arya reported. Their research databases are intact, containing centuries of human scientific advancement. Combined with the knowledge we've gained from our allies, the possibilities are significant. Chen nodded, looking out at the battlefield where human and alien ships now flew together in victory formation. Send word to all human settlements. The darkness is over. It's time to rebuild, not just what we lost, but something new. Something better. In the days that followed, the galaxy witnessed a transformation. The Conclave, stripped of its military authority, reformed into a true diplomatic body. Human settlements emerged from hiding, establishing trade routes and cultural exchanges with their new allies. The combined technological knowledge of the stasis ships, merged with centuries of alien advancement, sparked a renaissance of innovation. 1 month after the battle, Captain Chen stood in the newly established Human Unity Center on Haven, addressing representatives from every known human settlement and allied species. 300 years ago, humanity faced extinction. Our enemies thought they had destroyed us, scattered us too far to ever reunite. But they didn't understand what makes humanity special. It's not our technology, or our military strength. It's our ability to adapt, to learn, to grow. Most importantly, it's our ability to reach out to others, to forge bonds of friendship and alliance across the stars. She gestured to the diverse gathering before her. Look around this room. Humans standing alongside Andorians, Tarkanians, and dozens of other species. This is what the Conclave feared, not our weapons, but our capacity to bring people together, to combine different perspectives and technologies in ways they never imagined possible. The dark ages of isolation are over. Humanity has reclaimed its place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as innovators, explorers, and friends. The knowledge preserved in our stasis ships, combined with what we've learned from our allies, will help build a better future for everyone. As she spoke, news arrived from distant sectors, more human settlements revealing themselves, more stasis ships being discovered. Each one carried a piece of humanity's legacy, waiting to be combined with new ideas and technologies. This is our new dawn, Chen concluded. Not just for humanity, but for all species who believe in cooperation over control, in innovation over limitation. The galaxy tried to break us, to make us forget who we were. Instead, we emerged stronger, wiser, and ready to forge a new path forward. Together. The applause that followed wasn't just for her words, but for what they represented. Humanity had done more than survive, they had proven why they were worth saving. In reaching out to others, in combining different strengths and perspectives, they had created something unprecedented, a true galactic community, built on mutual respect and endless possibility. As Chen looked out over the assembled beings, she felt a profound sense of rightness. The human spirit hadn't just endured, it had evolved, grown, become something greater than anyone could have imagined. The stars that had once seemed like barriers now beckoned with promise, not just for humanity, but for all who dared to dream of something more. The new dawn had arrived, and its light would shine across the galaxy for generations to come.